Good morning, children. Welcome back to Sparklight Online. And here's
Fun Fact of the Week.
Did you know that love in the original Greek language is described in 3 different ways in the New Testament? The first type is agape love, which expresses God's unconditional love. The second type is filial love, which refers to brotherly love between close friends. And the third type is eros love, and it refers to romantic love. And that's the fun fact of the week. Now, let's go to God in prayer. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you for your everlasting love for us. Teach us to listen to what your Spirit is saying to us today, that we may know you and grow more in love with you. In Jesus' name we pray. And everybody says, Amen. Children, come, let's worship the Lord together. And let us proclaim that God is great. And let's sing how great is our God together. Praise God. And let's sing the first verse, the splendor of the King. Are you ready? Let's sing it.
The splendor of the King clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice, all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, trembles at his voice. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God.
Let's sing the second verse together now.
Age to age he stands, and timeless in his hands. Beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, Father, Spirit, and Son. The Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing, how great is our God. You're the name above all names. You are worthy of all praise. And my heart will sing, how great is our God.
Let's sing how great is our God.
How great is our God? Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. How great is our God? How great is our God? How great is our God?
Let's sing it one more time. How great.
How great is our God? How great is our God? How great is our God?
We praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Praise you, Lord.
It's Bible story time.
Can he fly?
Nope. Does she have a sidekick?
No. Does he wear a mask?
Yes.
I know. My character is Spider-Man.
Bingo!
Yes.
Oh, great! Children, you are here just in time! Serenade and I are playing a game called Guess Who's That? You see these cards above our heads? The goal of the game is to guess who is the person in the picture.
We will each take turns to ask the other player some questions that will help narrow down our guess. And we are only allowed to answer yes or no to all questions. So, the trick is always to ask the right questions. The fastest to guess their character right wins the game.
The category we just played was superheroes. I guess that my picture was Spider-Man and I was right. Now Serenade, are you ready for the next round?
Yes.
Children, you can watch and learn and maybe even play this game with your family later.
And the next category is the Explorers. How many explorers do you know, Pastor Raymond?
Not many, I would say. Let's see who will win this round.
Okay, let's draw our cards and place them over our foreheads.
And since I won the previous round, I shall start first.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Is my character a male?
Nope. Is my character a male?
Yes. Does she wear spectacles?
Nope. Does he wear a uniform?
Yes. Did she appear in a movie?
Yes. Is he tall?
No. Does she explore places with an animal?
Yes.
Let me guess my character. Is she Moana?
Okay, it's my turn again. Does he explore places in outer space?
No. Does she speak with a squeaky, high-pitched voice?
Yes.
Yes, I know who she is. Dora the Explorer.
And you're right. Gosh, I couldn't guess it was Russell from the movie Up.
Dora wasn't easy to guess either.
But her name says it all. She's Dora the Explorer.
True.
Anyway, Pastor Raymond, what makes someone an explorer?
I guess you can say that an explorer is someone who travels to an unknown land, usually with the goal of looking for something. Oh, the Bible mentioned a few explorers too.
Really?
Yes. Do you remember the 12 spies sent to explore the land of Canaan? There were Joshua and Caleb and the rest of the leaders from the tribes of Israel. Let's take a look at the Bible in Numbers chapter 13.
God told Moses, "Send men to scout out the land of Canaan. I am giving this land to the Israelites." Moses sent out one leader from each family tribe. He told the men what to do. Go see what the land is like and whether the people who live there are strong or weak, few or many. Moses had a lot of questions. Is the land good or bad? Are the cities they live in camps or forts? Is the land good for farming? Are there any trees? Moses said, "Be courageous." So the men went and scouted out the land. They traveled around the land for 40 days. They cut down a cluster of grapes in the valley and carried it on a pole. Then they went back to Moses, Aaron, and the Israelite community to tell them what they saw. "The land is good. It is flowing with milk and honey," they said. "But the people living in the land are strong, and the cities they live in are large and well protected." Then Caleb, one of the spies, said, "We must go up and take possession of the land. We can certainly conquer it with God's help." But the other men disagreed. "The people are stronger than we are. We look like grasshoppers compared to them." The Israelites were afraid and they cried all night. They thought Moses and Aaron had brought them to Canaan to die. The Israelites said, "Let's appoint a new leader and go back to Egypt." Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before the Israelites. Joshua and Caleb, who had both scouted out the land, tore their clothes and said to the Israelites, "The land is extremely good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will give it to us." Don't be afraid of the people living in the land. God is with us.
Pastor, the Israelites had just came out of slavery in Egypt, haven't they? I'm surprised they would rather go back to Egypt to suffer for life than to go to Canaan, the land that God said He would give to the Israelites. Moreover, this happened after God used Moses to part the Red Sea, right? So why were they still doubtful of God's promise and power that He will be able to give them victory over their enemies?
Yes, I had these questions in my head too when I first read this passage in the Bible. After returning from their 40-day exploration of Canaan, all the spies except Joshua and Caleb gave a report that they would not be able to conquer the land. And it wasn't because the land was bad, but it was because they thought that the people living there were too powerful and their cities were like fortresses. Of course, hearing this from the leaders of the tribes themselves, this report frightened the people of Israel who were with them. Now, everyone is afraid.
Not everyone, right? Caleb had a different attitude from the other spies. You see, what stood out from all this negative report was what Caleb said and did. Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, "We should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it."
Wow! Caleb certainly spoke up to everyone with much faith and confidence in the Lord. You may be a great explorer one day, but can you be as great as Caleb, who has found favor in the Lord?
The Bible tells us in Joshua chapter 14 verse 8 that Caleb was 40 years old when Moses sent him to explore the land of Canaan. He said, "My fellow Israelites who went out with me made the hearts of the people melt in fear. I, however, followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly." Even at 85 years old, the Bible tells us that Caleb was still physically strong, vigorous to old age, and passionate as he was back then to go out to battle.
Caleb's passion in serving the Lord never faded away, even though he grew older because he followed God with his whole heart.
Eventually, God's promise came true, and Joshua led the people across the Jordan River into the promised land. Caleb too received an inheritance in the promised land in his old age.
Today we learn 3 important things. Number 1, trust in God and not in the circumstances. All the 12 spies saw the giants in the land of Canaan, but Caleb and Joshua were courageous and they persevered to drive them out in order to conquer the promised land. They trusted in God that He will give them the victory. Number 2, do not be discouraged by negative influences. When 10 out of the 12 spies brought a negative report back to Moses, Caleb spoke in opposition to them, and he was in favor to enter and conquer Canaan. How easy it would have been for Caleb to blend in with the crowd. But if that was so, Caleb and Joshua wouldn't have entered the promised land. Number 3, be steadfast in the Lord. Even though Caleb had wandered in the wilderness and suffered the same hardships and trials as those who disobeyed God, Caleb's passion to serve the Lord never faded away. In the same way, we should also learn to remain steadfast in the Lord and love the Lord with all of our hearts.
What's today's activity?
Children, we have some activity worksheets prepared for you online. Head over to this link to download them. Also, you can share your reflection with us by emailing us at sparklight@lighthouse.org.sg. We often learn in Sparklight to trust and obey God, but sometimes we face struggles like peer pressure and discouragements that may cause us to look away and give in instead of clinging on to God's promises. Let's learn to be like Caleb, whose passion and love for God never cease until we grow old. Let's love the Lord with all of our hearts. Come, let's go to God in prayer. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you that you are a promise keeper. We want to be like Caleb, who followed after you with all of his heart. Teach us, Lord, to be courageous and faithful so that we can go forth with the power of the Lord to do what you have called us to do. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. And everybody says, Amen.
Join us next week for our Easter special episode. Then we will begin the next series featuring a few good women from the Bible on the 11th of April. Don't go off yet. Stay tuned for the quiz challenge to see how much you've learned.
It's time for Quiz Challenge.
Are you ready for 5 simple questions? Here we go. Who were sent to spy on the land of Canaan? 12 Pharisees. 12 undercover police. 1 leader from each tribe of Israel. Moses' family. And the answer is 1 leader from each tribe of Israel. Why were the people of Israel afraid after the 12 spies returned? They were running out of food to eat. They heard negative reports about how strong Canaan was. The 12 spies were attacked on their way back. They were all lost in the wilderness. And the answer is, they heard negative reports about how strong Canaan was. Who declared that they should conquer and take possession of Canaan? Moses, David, Joshua, Caleb. And the answer is Caleb. Today we learn from the story of Caleb to blank, fill in a blank. Trust in God and not in circumstances. Not be discouraged by negative influences. Be steadfast in the Lord. All of the above. And the answer is all of the above. And now for the last question. Did God's promise come true in the end? Is it yes or no? And the answer is yes! Joshua led the people across the Jordan River into the Promised Land, and Caleb received an inheritance too. And that's the end of today's lesson.
See you next week.